Hey guys, Monday lunchtime over here, and last week I set myself 3 challenges. I was reading, like on Monday last week, I started a 6th book, and so I said I need to finish one of those because it's just getting ridiculous at this point. I usually have like 3 books going on at the same time, but like I've been so scatterbrained lately that I've just been constantly feeling like starting something new, and so I was like, I need to finish something. Second goal was make progress in all of those 6 books, and the third goal was to get up to speed with the Lemmy's read along. If you don't want to be spoiled for last week's vlog, then I'll have it linked up above. You can go there in 3, 2, 1. Spoilers coming. I only finished one of these goals. I only finished one of these books. So I'm down to 5 books that I'm reading at the same time. These are the ones pictured. The only one that was missing from that pile is the one that I finished in the meantime. And so I'm going to be repeating this exact same process. Want to finish one of these, or one to get ahead in all of them, one to catch up to the Lemmy's read along. Do I think I can do it? No. I'm basically gonna hope that I can finish 2 of these goals, meaning get ahead in all of these and catch up to the Lemmy's read along. But in terms of finishing a book this week, they're chunky books, most of them. I am not halfway through in either of them. I'm gonna have to put my money down on either Master Artificer or Assassin's Quest. I have not read anything in Master Artificer for a very long time. I definitely want to be reading in it. That's like definitely a priority for this week because, it's one of the 2 books that I didn't make any progress in last week. So I definitely want to be doing that this week. And so, yeah, it would be nice if I get quite a bit ahead in that one. But yeah, my money is on Master Artificer or Assassin's Quest if I am going to be able to finish any of these books this week. But my real money is on not achieving that goal, but achieving the 2 others. So wish me luck. By the time you see this, this will be over, but I'm mentally imagining all of your good luck wishes, and hopefully they will see me through. Alright guys, I was vaccinated yesterday, so fully vaccinated, but unfortunately that also means that I'm feeling like crap today. So it was Moderna, and it's the second vaccine of Moderna, especially in younger people. Yay, consider myself young, yay. Can cause quite some issues. Like, it is not, like, nothing is like super serious. Nothing really hurts incredibly, or like, yeah, I can't. Or I don't have like a super high fever. It's just a combination of 20,000 things. And like the second that, you get over the fever feeling, then, my jaw starts to hurt. The second that I don't focus on that, then it's just like focusing on my back pain. So like, there are a whole lot of things. Oh, come on, my cat just jumped into my wardrobe. There are just like a whole lot of tiny things that I'm feeling right now. Not tiny, let's admit. Yeah, I'm not really making much sense anymore, so I'm just going to be spending my day in the bedroom. The annoying thing is it's also a little bit difficult to sleep because the shoulder hurts, so but actually the shoulder is pretty okay. The shoulder, like, compared to last time, the shoulder isn't hurting as much. I can still not lie on it, of course, but like when I'm lying on my back, I don't feel it, which is nice because last time I couldn't even lie on my back. So yeah, I am not feeling great. So, there's definitely been a while around lunchtime in which I was feeling like quite okay, and in which I was wondering, like, shouldn't I just like sign back on to work for the afternoon? But like, if I sat up for a little bit too long, for example, I would already start feeling the headache come in. And now it's like 5 o'clock at night and I can feel the fever coming back and all that. So I need to get up and go and grab another painkiller to get that down again. But so it's all worth it. I mean, in the end, of course, I will be very happy when in 2 weeks' time I can travel. I mean, not that I'm traveling in 2 weeks' time, but when in 2 weeks' time I know that I am fully protected or as protected as I can be at this point in time. So, yeah, but today is a very crappy day, and but reading wise, it's been okay because, I was saying earlier that I didn't really know what to do because, while reading, you also need to focus. But audiobooks have actually been like really great for me. But so I've been listening to some, I don't know, 60, 50, 60, something like that, pages of Assassin's Quest. And then I've also listened to I don't know how many pages of Les Miserables. So I'm almost back on track with Les Miserables. So that's the good thing, I guess, about this day is that I will be back on track with my reading for Les Mis. I will not be on track with my videos because I was editing last night, but I only did like the first big edits and I had to do the second one after work today. But honestly, I mean, I can barely be bothered to do anything at this point in time. And so sitting behind my computer editing is not one of those things. So, all right, Thursday evening. Today has been an interesting day in Belgium because there's been a whole lot of flooding and there's been a whole lot of damage as well. It was kind of touch and go over here because like I'll have like a picture and maybe some video of there on there as well. But like we basically had a sort of like private pool, and I think like if it would have rained incessantly for a few hours more or something, it's possible that this would have also flooded, but we ended up being spared that. But that'll depend, of course, because I think they're still saying that it's possible for it to continue raining throughout the night. It, in principle, is moving on towards Germany, and it seems like it's already moved towards that part of the country, so perhaps that won't happen anymore, but it's still possible that it might also still rain during the night and that, there'll be added water levels still. But so, yeah. I canceled my physical therapist appointment because I was like, it was raining incessantly, and as I saw it was going to rain even more around that time. In the end, that didn't end up happening, but in any case, it was like, couldn't really foresee what the weather was going to do, and since I take the bicycle to the physical therapist, I decided not to take the risk. In terms of my reading, I am. So it's Thursday. We are midway point of the month. I finished one book. But so we are past the midway point of the week. In terms of my goal of continuing in all the 5 books that I'm currently reading, I have this week read in 3 of them so far. So that's good. It's just over half, but we're also like a little over half, more than over half probably of the week, but still like I still have. I think my goal is just gonna be tomorrow evening. I'm gonna read a little bit in then like the 4th book that I'm reading at the moment, and then during the weekend I'll make sure that I get around to that 5th book. So at least that one goal is gonna be upheld. And I also did read my daily chapter of Les Miserables, so I'm also keeping on track with that. In terms of finishing a book, I definitely don't think it's gonna happen, but yeah, I'm quite happy with the progress that I'm making at the moment. I have also I'm also quite okay with the fact that I probably won't be reaching a lot of my goals for the month of July, in terms of my TBR that I set out for myself. I'm more interested in just like making sure that I get around to some of these things that I've been on my currently reading for a while, for example, than I am in making sure that I get around to the books that I set out at the beginning. So all's well in my reading life at the moment, and it is about time for me to go to sleep now. Weekend, so no more full like rain or anything like that today, though the river is still like super high, so the level of the water still needs to lower quite a bit, but normally throughout the weekend it's going to be good weather, so it's like it's going to be 25, 26 degrees tomorrow, for example. So I'm having a barbecue with friends tomorrow, which is so weird. Like 2 days after there were like massive floods, like the weather really is changing by the seconds. But so we are Friday. Goal for today is to make sure that I also get something read in the fourth book. So I have up until this point read in 3 out of the 5. Today I want to make sure that I get something read in the fourth book as well, and then during the weekend in the fifth book. I have today been reading a little bit more in Les Miserables, and actually I should be probably giving you guys an update. So with Les Miserables, we are now at the, I don't know how many percent we are like, I don't know, 270 pages into an over 1,200 page book, but we have just finished the first part, which is the Fantine part. So in Les Miserables, we are following, basically it's a story about an ex-convict and the difficulties that he has in life because of the stigma that surrounds him because of his status as being an ex-convict. However, it looks at more than just his character, and it shows how harsh life is for those who are less fortunate in that period in France. A lot of it is about, injustice and the way in which the poor suffer and trying to, reclaim some of their character, because a lot of the more like a lot of the prejudices that are being shared are prejudices about how people who have poor circumstances or, who have ended up having to resort to criminal matters are evil or, are bad men, even though their circumstances have often led them to the acts that they perform. For example, Jean Valjean, he steals a piece of fruit or a piece of bread, I think, and that is what originally lands him into prison. And so he spends like 19 years in prison because of also trying to escape and things like that. But still, he spends a lot of years in prison for something as simple as wanting to steal a bread. And then afterwards, he's always branded a convict. And whenever something happens in his environment, people always kind of assume that it will be him and that he will have been up to no good just because of his past status. So it's very much a book diving into social injustice. Now, this first part, the Fantine part, had a lot of extra stuff to it compared to the musical, and I'm going to assume that that is also the case for most of these parts, of course, because we are fitting a 2.5 hour musical into a 1,200 page book. There better be some extra stuff in there. But I will say that this is a very slow starting book. So if you ever want to dive into Les Miserables, the first book of the first part. So the first part is Fantine, but then each part is divided in different books. And so that first one dives into the character of the bishop, who basically in the musical plays a very small role. He's just there for a few minutes of the musical. But in this book, we start out with that character and we kind of paint a whole image of this character for a very long time. And that really was not the best way to start a story. And, it was a ride. That first half, like that first part was really quite difficult in that sense. And then we kind of get the story of Jean Valjean started, and so things kind of kicked off. But then again, we add extra stuff when it comes to Fantine, because in the musical we don't know too much about how she ended up with a child, and that we also dive into within this novel. Now, so overall the pacing is just quite slow, which you can imagine being the case if you've got a 1,200 page novel that you are able to condense down to a 3 hour musical. But that's not to say that I'm not enjoying it, because kind of once we got further into that first part, probably around the time when we sort of had Jean Valjean's storyline and Fantine's storyline meet up with one another, I definitely got really engrossed with it. I from time to time definitely still felt like we were spending a little bit too much time on certain parts. There's certain parts in which we have Jean Valjean contemplating what he should do, kind of struggling with his own conscience. And those parts from time to time, I felt like they dragged on for a little bit too long. On the other hand, I also found them to be, in essence, quite fascinating chapters to read through as well. So I'm really enjoying it so far. And, at this point in time, once I caught up to the pace and because of where I am at in the book now, I'm not having real problems with continuing on with that. So for this week, definitely that'll be fine because I also don't think we have the chapter breakdown yet for part 2, because tomorrow there's going to be a live show for part 1 and then we're going to dive into part 2, but I haven't seen the breakdown yet. I think if we don't have the breakdown yet, I'll just continue a few chapters tomorrow, a few chapters after that, so that perhaps I might even have a head start going into next week. And then I also read a little bit in my secret TBR book, so I'm also a little bit further into that, but that's moving really slow. But so I am going to be picking up the 4th book that I am reading this week, and that is going to be The Periodic Table of Feminism. I'll just have some sort of like B-roll for it, but there's really not that much interesting to say about it. So that's definitely also something that I want to move ahead in a little bit today. So I think for the remainder of the day, I'm just going to be reading a little bit in that, and then I'll probably be alternating that with my secret TBR book. So probably I'll just during sprints be alternating between the two so that I can make decent headway in the two. So yeah, guys, it happened. The weather is, I don't know whether that actually showed anything, but the weather is extremely nice today, which is just so weird considering that, there were massive floods 2 days ago. Even here, it didn't flood in the end here, or not at least in many places in Leuven, and nothing major, but it was in a critical situation, and it is still in critical situation, not too far from here. So it's just like so weird to imagine that it's just a gorgeous day now, and so many people have had like the most horrible week of their life. Sometimes these things that, a lot of people try to shove under the rug or try to imagine are not problems of our times do pop up and show that they are already problems for our times as well, and so we need to start tackling these. But so enough of the heavy topics, I guess. So it is Saturday. I read my daily portion of Les Miserables, and I am now starting. Well, I have already started reading in Master Artificer. So I will say that I still have this problem where I'm just like tired while reading it after a few pages. And not to say that I'm not enjoying it, but it's kind of tiring me out, it seems. So, I cannot really explain it because I think most people would just say, like, if you're struggling so much with it, just DNF it. But it isn't that I'm struggling with the content, but for some reason, it is a struggle for me to keep at it, to marathon read it, not even to marathon read it, but just to stick at it for like longer periods of time. So I'm just now gonna do like 2 chapters break, 2 chapters break, just do it like that in order to hopefully pace myself through it until I perhaps get to a little bit more of a, I don't know, faster paced portion. Sunday morning, and I have completed 2 out of the 3 goals. So yesterday I started the 5th of these books. I continued in the 5th of these books, so I have now made progress in all 5 of them so far, but I do want to make more in this 5th one today. And then today I also already started by finishing this day's section of Les Miserables, so I am caught up to Les Miserables. I am staying on track at the moment, so that goal is completed. I am nowhere near finishing any of these books, so the 3rd goal is definitely not happening, but so I am now at like page 380 or something like that of Master Artificer. My goal for today is gonna be like, I would be very happy if I can get to like the 460 page mark, because that is the ending of part 3, I think. Part 4? Part 3? Don't know which part. The ending of a part. I'm not gonna like super force myself to do that neither. I've completed 2 out of my 3 goals. I'm happy where I'm at, but that would be ideal because then perhaps I can finish it next week. So that is kind of gonna be like what I'm aiming for, but I also have some like videos I want to edit. I didn't get my Friday vlog up, and I really need to stop procrastinating on that and edit it, complete the editing so that it can go up today. But so yeah, so far so good for this week, and just hoping to get a little bit more page count done and then give you guys a final update on, like where I'm at with all these books. Hey guys, a Monday morning. I am signing on to work and I am rounding off this vlog. So in terms of my productivity for this week, like last vlog, I will have a sort of like chart or a graph up there that will kind of show how much reading I got done throughout the week. In any case, I managed, as I said yesterday, 2 goals of continuing with all of the books and staying on track for Les Mis read along. I did not finish a book, but I did get to part 4 in Master Artificer. So I did get a decent chunk of that read in the end, and I was definitely enjoying it a whole lot when I was like more into it. I think my main problem with Master Artificer is that we move from a book that I think is solely from one perspective, perhaps a few chapters from other perspectives, but I think solely from one perspective, to one in which we have multiple perspectives telling the story. So we initially start off with like 3 perspectives, but some perspectives get added to that. And I don't know. I've definitely had cases where I have enjoyed that, and have not had problems with that. But with this one, it is very clear that my reading pace very much suffers when we leave Anef behind. So I am very much attached to our main character, and so I don't care about some of the other characters neither. Some of them I really kind of despise, and so reading their chapters is just kind of slower in that sense as well. So while I can, of course, understand the reason for that, for them being there, and while I can enjoy their storyline, it does take me longer to get through their storyline because I'm just like not engrossed or engaged as much as I am in Anef's chapters. But so yeah, that is definitely moving faster now. We kind of have a sort of like magic school setting again in Anef's storyline as well, which also really makes his storyline very interesting in the point of the book where I'm at now. But so yeah, I'm hoping to finish it actually next week. That's kind of going to be my goal for next week, is finishing Master Artificer, and that in and of itself will make the month of July a whole success, finally finishing that one, because I've really been feeling like crappy towards the book, been feeling like I'm neglecting this guy. And so showing him some love next week and trying to finish it. But so yeah, that is going to be it for this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and next week I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to be following this format again of using the 3 goals or not, but as I said, I will definitely be trying to finish a book at least. But so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and see you guys for a future one. Bye!